Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative, and I have myself another Temu package. Temu. Yeah, I have another package from Temu. I feel like I'm saying that totally wrong today, but anyways, whatever. So I thought I would share it with you, and there's some things in here that have absolutely nothing to do with artwork. But that's okay. I thought I would show what I got just in case you're interested, and I thought I would share. So let's get into this. I've got, I think, a couple of molds in here, and I have some things for my card making. So let's go and see what I've got in here. All right. So one of the things that I've been looking for, and I'm just going to throw this off to, I don't know, some side, was rectangle molds for doing trinket trays and whatnot. And I had seen some on Amazon. I actually put them on my wish list. But then I got looking at Temu, and I found, I think there's more than one in this packet. I'm not sure if there's 2 or 3 of them, but I wanted rectangle. Oh my gosh. I know how to speak. I really, really do. I don't know if it's because of the day. I don't know. Anyway, rectangle. Guess the word. That's what we're going to call this one. Guess the word. Anyway, so I thought I would order from them some rectangle ones just to see what we could do. Now, I'm noticing this isn't the cleanest mold in the world, so I'm going to have to wipe that down. But what I've been finding, and because how I've been doing my molds, I end up putting a top coat on what would be the top side of it. So let me bring this one over here. So I still haven't done anything with this, but putting something in here, I would put a top coat over top of it. So even if there is markings on it, I'm finding that I can, by putting a very thin layer of a top coat over it, I can take care of that. Now, I can see other marks. I'm thinking if I just take a wet wipe, I can clean that up. So there's that. Now, these are fun pieces, and these have absolutely nothing to do with things I make. I decided to order some rings off of Temu. I've seen other people on their videos that they've ordered rings, so I thought, well, I'd give it a go. And I also, when I was on vacation last year, someone that I had been speaking to, I really liked the ring. And I said, so where'd you get that? And they said they'd gotten from Temu. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to see. For what I paid for these things, really, really inexpensive. And I've misplaced my engagement ring, so I'm kind of trying to find something really inexpensive to fill in until I actually find out what the heck I did with the darn thing. I know the last time I had it, and yeah. So here is one of them. Now, I love rings. I cannot lie. I love, love, love rings. And the more unique the ring, the more I like it. I am not one for traditional when it comes to rings. When I go on vacation, if I buy any jewelry, if I can find it here in Canada, I will not buy it. I look for unique and unusual just because that's who I am and that's what I like. Now, I got all mine at a size 7. Now, this ring, that belonged to my mom. I cannot lose that for love nor money. So I'm going to put that someplace safe for right now because this doesn't need. So there's that one, which is really kind of cool. Now, it's interesting because this stone in the center actually looks like it's got a bit of a blue hue to it. But I do like that. So I said a size 7, so let's see if it'll fit on my, so it'll fit on my other hand as well. I've come to understand and appreciate just by a size 7. Make it easier. Now, in looking at this, there are some pieces of, I'll say, metal in the inside here, so I'm going to work on getting rid of them with my file or something like that, just because. But that's kind of a cool looking ring. Okay. And this one, this was really unique too. I liked this because it had so many different facets to it. Now it's supposed to be a size 7. Where are we? No, it says 7 on here. There is a 7, but I'm just not sure. It's too big to be a 7, so we'll just slide that. So that would fit on that finger. So I don't mind that. So I think that's really pretty too. See if it'll fit on my other finger. Yeah, so it will. I like that. I think that's so ornate. Like I said, I like unusual. Very unusual. All right. Now, the other thing I've been noticing a lot of people doing is making these huge bowls. So it's like, okay, let's be like everyone else and jump on the bandwagon and make a huge bowl. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it. I'm not sure when we're going to do this one. And yeah, I thought it would be fun to do to get and do a really big bowl. So we're going to have to do that at some point. And I know I have another ring in here. And what did these rings ran me about $3 a piece if they were that much. And that's Canadian. See, you're gonna love this. Like I say, I like big and ornate and just, I'm very fortunate too because my hands allow me to go really big like that. Like I can pull that off. That's not a stretch for me. My hands, I've always been very fortunate, and it's so interesting. Like as a size 7, I technically shouldn't be able to put it on this other hand, and I normally can't, but that's really pretty. I really like that. Can you see? And you may not be into rings, and this may look totally, I'm going to say gaudy and too big and too whatever, but this is the kind of thing I like. I don't know if I could get that on my, I can in the summertime. And I find that my hands swell really easily, but yeah. This one's a little, because it's so big, I can really sense that I have it on my finger. But it's cool. Got a lot of sparkle to that does. Okay, moving on. Okay, the other thing I wanted to do, I have the foil pads, and what I wanted to do, I wanted to find black. I don't know if this is so I actually bought some new foils, metallic foils, because they had black in it, and a couple other unique colors. But I specifically wanted the black, but I thought, well, since you've got these other colors and they look kind of, and they had a silver. So I don't have a silver. So I'll show you some of the colors. Turn that around. I guess that's the way it's supposed to go. So we've got a black. Pretty boring in some ways. I'll call that copper with an orange tinge to it. This purple, but I'm pretty sure I've got a purple like that already. Let me see if there's any colors in here that are. Let's have a look, because I've got the silver in here, and I'm trying to think if there were 2 silvers in this, or just the one. Because silver was another one, and the others I've got that I don't have. I don't have a silver, so I thought silver would be nice to try too. And I don't know how many pieces I've got of each of these. I'd say there's maybe 10 of them in here. And then just, you know, a traditional gold in there as well. So the black and the silver are the two out of this whole package that I'm interested in for those. So let me slide those off to the side. Okay, and in regards to my card making, I already have some of these and I wanted more. These are really nice. I've seen Simon Hurley use them on his channel. Okay, so they're bigger brushes and they're really nice. These are so nice. And then they've got the stand that holds them. I have 2 already, so now I have an extra 3. I did that because of the different colors I work with. Like, I've got all kinds of colors. So I wanted to get these to, so I could use multiple colors. Like, have one for like the browns, have ones for the yellows, the oranges, and do it that way. Now, granted, having said that, usually if you like take a piece of paper and and go with a piece of paper. So let me find something. So if you use this for one color, I found that, you know, once you've used it, if you just go over a piece of like plain paper, you can usually get the color out enough that you can go on and use your next color. I wanted some more, and I wanted so I could, you know, have for some of the specific colors. All right, so here's another one of the rectangle trays. So I am kind of excited about these. I think these are going to be kind of neat to play with. So we have 2 of them. Yeah, there's only 2 in there. So I think these will work out kind of neat. And I guess I look at some of the tattoos and the different papers you can get and whatnot, and I thought, you know, instead of having to cut them, that if we had these, then we don't have to cut down. So I kind of liked that. All right. And that will be it after this one. So this is an angel. So I'm almost thinking in this video we should do the angel so you get to see what it looks like. I don't know if I've mentioned in my videos before, my dad, before he passed away, I remember him saying to me, he said, "I believe in God and angels." And I've never forgotten him saying that to me. And after he passed away, I was on a hunt for a cement angel. And I finally found one that I fell in love with. And it sits in the house in the wintertime and it's out on my deck in the summertime. And that thing is heavy. That thing must weigh 20, 30 pounds. And it stands, how high would it be? Well, it's at least a foot. It's not massive, but it's solid. And I just love it. So I saw this, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this angel, but maybe what we'll do is, I'm wondering if I can make it out of mixed to mold. The mold's a little tight. I don't know. I would have to, if I use mixed to mold, I'm going to have to let it sit for a while, because I wouldn't want to break it trying to get it out. But we might have to make this out of resin as well. And I think actually, you know what? So as I'm thinking about this, if I make it out of mixed to mold, I'm not going to be able to get it really clean at the end of the day. So I think we'll have to make it out of resin, just so that I don't have to try and figure out how I'm going to clean it. And I kind of look at it and think it's, some of these are really, really pliable, but this one's not as pliable. So we're going to have to be extra careful with this one. But we definitely will do it. Okay, so that's all the stuff I got from Temu. Thought it'd be fun to show you the bling. I do like my bling. I do like my bling. I really, really do. So let me get my mom's ring back on so that doesn't go missing. Bad enough that you misplace your engagement ring, let alone if I never mind. Never mind how I'd feel if I lost my mom's rings. Okay, so I am thinking what we maybe should do is have a little bit of fun. Do one of the rectangle molds. And I'm almost tempted to, I've never seen the musical myself, but I'm wondering, because I have all these sort of magical colors, if I were to take some of them and we just throw odd pieces on here and do it sort of like Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Coat. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll use this one, and I will randomly place some of these colors in here and let them sort of fly wherever they want. Like, I mean, I could mix my resin up and then just put all the various colors in, but I think what I want to do is I want to sort of place them down. So I will clean this mold. I will get it clean. I will look through my colors and I will put them down wherever. Now, a trick that I have learned about working with these sheets, and again, one of those random things I did going through YouTube, one of the people, and again, I have no idea who she is, this was going back a while, she actually said, you know, the easier way to deal with these sheets, because like when you lift these up, I mean, they have a mind of their own, right? At least for me, they do. If you cut like shapes out of it or strips out of it and then work with those strips instead of trying to use one sheet at a time, you have more control over them. So that's just a simple little tip for you if you haven't seen that before and you get frustrated working with this stuff. You know, cut it into strips, just cut it into smaller sizes and work with them. And then once you have them on your tray, which some of you will already know this, and if you kind of want to make it sporadic, is then take a piece of tape and, you know, sort of go down and pull off what you don't want on it to give it a more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Grunge look is a word that you could use for that. Anyway, so let me clean this up. Let me get some of these sheets of metallic foil down, and then we will decide if we are going, which could be interesting, or just leave it as clear. Anyway, I guess I have some work to do. Are you ready to carry on? I have my resin mixed up. The reason I have it in this cup versus a plastic or a silicone is because I'm going to be putting way too much glitter in that, and I do not feel like cleaning it out today. Before I carry on with that, I just wanted to show you something. I had, in one of my previous videos, this mold here. I had put in some of the eye candy flakes, the Koi Noi no Yokon can. Anyway, some of the flakes. Okay, if you remember, I don't want to tilt it too far. Anyways, I'd put some of that in. I was going to do the whole thing, and I'm thinking, ooh, I don't really want to do that now. But I did do a small little piece in the previous video. But what I did was, and this is still a test I plan on doing, is backing these with a color other than black or white. Most people are doing that, and me, well, you know, wanting to think outside the box and see what we can do. So I had some white resin left over, and I'll show you what I made with them if you can't see them on the table there. And then I added some red. I'm not touching the bottle. I have the translucent Illuminate red dye over here, and oh my god, I got that red absolutely everywhere. So I'm not touching the bottle, but I used some of that to color the white. But I just wanted to show you that I don't think we have to do black and or white. We could do any color. So we're going to do a piece where we're going to use different colors, but I just wanted to show you how that looked with the red behind it. So I don't know if the flakes themselves are making it so it wouldn't really matter what color you put behind them, but I wanted to try red, so that's what I did. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that in anything, but anyway, I just thought I would show that to you. And then I made a pair of, because I wanted to make another pair of the paw earrings. So I did the white, and my only issue was I got some of the red dye on those. I'm going to make them up anyway, but I just, yeah, I got red dye on them. I swear I had that stuff everywhere. I was touching things, right? I actually threw out and got new gloves because of it. That's how insane it got. Now, on to our project. So I had mentioned about doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor tray, basically. So I just randomly put some of the metal foils that I had gotten in there. I also used some chrome color I had, the olive, and I also used one of the eye candy, the periwinkle glitter in this as well. So this is going to be a really random glitter-filled piece. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is we're going to mix in our glitter first, but we're also going to put in like just a drop or two, and I mean small drop or two of this clear glue, because I don't want my my stuff to sink right to the bottom. I want this floating throughout it. So what have we got here? Well, we're going to put in some copper. I got these at, I believe, Dollarama in their craft section. So they're just copper circles. So I am glittering this up just beyond. I just want so much glitter in this. So we're doing that. I'm going to get them all over myself now too. We're going to put in some of this Recollections Ruby. I know, it's one of those, I just feel like making it, so glitter fested and all different kind of colors, and yeah. I just feel like going crazy with the glitter, because I can. We're also going to use some of the platinum. I really like this stuff because I like the shine to it. And, you know, I've probably mentioned this before. I have so many glitters. It's just like, let's just make this an interesting piece. And I also have these. So I'm trying to think. I'm not 100% sure where I got these. They came as part of something. But I love the look of this too. I almost think that might have been open. Always make sure you get your glitter baggies put back, like shut tight. All right, let's see what this is going to look like. And I had to mix my resin. I mixed it for probably about 9 minutes. Again, I've been warming it up just because it's cold in here. But it's sort of, I think of the summer when it's really, really hot down here. And if I turn on the air conditioning, then it gets really cold. I work at not turning it on. I don't do well in the heat. I never have. Even less now as I get older. I try and keep it off in the summertime, though, the air conditioning, just so I can keep it warmer down here for the resin, because the basement in the wintertime gets cold, and in the summertime, if I have the air going, it gets cold because the furnace room is right next to me. And you'd almost think that would help to keep it warmer in the wintertime anyways, but it doesn't, because when the thermostat is upstairs, so the furnace comes on based on what the temperature is upstairs. And when it's a really warm summer, when it's a really sunny day, then it doesn't go on in the wintertime much unless I turn the heat up to numbers I don't want to turn it up to. Okay, so we've got this is looking pretty nice right now. I think we need some more. I don't think we have enough. So, put some, I think, more of the red. I'm going to put more gold in too. So some more silver. I don't think I'll put any more copper in. I'll definitely put more of the gold in because I think the gold's really, really pretty. And then some more red. And then once we get some of the glue in it, that'll suspend this stuff really well. I made about 200 mil. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I mixed this by hand, like I mixed the resin by hand. I didn't use my blender. So I hope everyone's doing well. There's a lot going on in the world right now. I'm working on staying away from social media. News, social media. I'm having a hard time these days dealing with everything that's out there. And I feel it's really important that if we get into checking out the news, that we make sure that we check different sources to make sure that we are getting all the facts in what's going on and don't just rely on one place for all our information. And I think there's ultimately that I'm getting overwhelmed by it all, and I just feel I need to step back and just have fun doing my videos and chatting with you guys, and yeah, stay away from staying away from the craziness that is in the world right now. Okay, so let's do this. Let's bring that over and get this tipped. And I think I'll do one drop. We'll start with one drop because I really don't want this too thick. There we go. Get that in there. There we go. One tiny little drop of glue. Yeah, I'll put two in. I want to make sure, like I said, I don't want it to whatever. I just want it to have enough that it keeps this stuff from all sinking to one spot, because that I don't want. And I know you have to be careful you don't put too much glue in this. So we'll put one more drop in, and I think that may be enough for this. Here's hoping anyway, right? There we go. Try not to get it onto my stick. Yeah, you can see how it's globbing up. So we'll just stir this a couple of more minutes. And then we'll get to pouring, because it definitely needs to get poured. So what do you think of my bowl so far? Is this pretty cool, or would you not, or is this again not your thing? Again, it's a you do you. I saw a video that Tim Holtz had done, him stepping away from some of his roles that he has previously been doing over the last number of years. I think he said he'd been doing stuff for about 20 years now, working with various companies and stepping back. And I commented on his video about using his you do you on my videos, and that it's now time for him to, him to do what he wants to do. And I think that's great that he's, evolving and changing and doing something different. And that's something we have to do in life. Sometimes we have to just say, it's what we've been working on. Okay, done. Okay, so we're really sticking there. Okay, let's pour this in and see how this evolves. Are you ready? Let's just do this. I think it's going to look really, if nothing else, it's going to be nice and glitzy. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to kind of keep this because I know I've gotten air bubbles when I've moved things around. So let's just let this follow itself. And yeah, see if we can't keep this from getting air bubbles because of how we've done it in the past. And I mean, with this being thick like it is, yeah, this might be a new way of at least pouring the resin so we keep it flowing and hopefully, you know, not get some of the air bubbles that we've gotten because of how, now granted, depending on what you're doing, you may run into it anyway, you know, if you're doing multiple colors and the like. But if we're just sort of doing something like this, then maybe, you know, the way to do it is like this. Who knows, say? One day it'll work, the next day it won't. Now, I did work on attempting to clean this mold, and I couldn't get the marks out, so I will be going back to Temu on this to see if I can't get a credit. The two molds themselves were like $7. I think for like $7 or $8 for the two of them. So really, I look at it and think, okay, well, you know, maybe, you know, let it go. I can't, like I said, I can't have a lot of expectations when I'm dealing with something that's that inexpensive. I can have expectation, I think, when it's, you know, I'm paying $20 for something like that. But I have less expectation when I'm dealing with something from Temu and it's $7 for two pieces. So some people may disagree with me on that, but I think in fairness, I'm not going to, you know, get too up in arms in the fact that we, you know, have some issues with it. And as I said, I can always put a top coat on it and take care of that. So I don't like when my lighter does that, when it bounces around. And okay, so I'll do a little bit more now. I have some left. I know I don't have enough for that big one. I don't want to do that. I have plans for that. Yeah, as you can see, I'll have to go find something to put the rest. I don't have a lot of resin left in there. Maybe 50, I'm not sure. Anyways, that's what I've got left. So I need to go find something to put that in, and I'll do that. We will let this sit and set up, and then looking forward to taking out and seeing how unique or unusual this may or may not look. But I definitely think it's going to have a lot of glitter in it, obviously. And as long as it's sort of spread out, that's going to be perfect. Anyway, I'm going to run off and find myself another mold. When this is ready to be taken out of its mold, we will do just that. See you when it's time. Are we ready for the unveiling? Before I get to that, as usual, you know me with my show and tell, I decided to take, you remember me working on filling up this huge tea light. This really needs to be done with deep pour resin. I was just throwing in random resin that I had left over, but I decided what I really need to do is just do that one properly with deep pour resin. Having taken it out though, and it not being the full size, I actually think this looks kind of cool. So it's flat on the bottom, it's not round, it's not very thick as such. It's got, this already has a lot of weight too. I mean, I grant you there's stones in that, but this has a lot of weight. So I'm just going to move that off to the side for a moment. But I think that looks kind of cool just by itself, without it being, you know, the full size. It reminds me of a volcano or a mountain. Anyway, I wanted to show that to you just to give you an idea of if you have a piece that's that big, do you really need to do the whole thing, which you obviously absolutely can. However, you wouldn't necessarily need to. And the other thing I'm liking about this is sort of the different colors I've got going on through here. And I really like this, the red and the blue that's in that. Anyway, I thought I would show that to you because I thought, you know, that makes it for an interesting piece and not having done the whole thing. Because we've got such a limited, I mean, that may be 1/2 inch deep. You wouldn't necessarily need to make, or you could make them different levels and do something like that. But anyway, I wanted to show that to you. Just another idea for you. And I'm running out of space over there. I'm going to have to clean up my desk again. Okay, I managed to do the angel. I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, we'll do the angel. And hopefully this won't be too big of a deal to get her out of there. I did spray alcohol inside it and smoosh it around, as I've seen some of the other artists do. And I also, as I was filling it up, I would pull on the sides here just to hopefully not end up with any air bubbles. Do I? I don't know. I didn't have enough of this mixture to do the whole thing. I got about 3/4 of the way done though, and then I just decided I would do gold on the bottom. So let's get this one out first. And hopefully this will come out easier. And I sort of had visions with this one of not coming out. It is a matte mold. And hopefully it's not a big deal. I don't think I would, if you had this mold or got this mold, I'm not thinking mixed a mold in this. I could be wrong, and maybe there'd be some people out there that might think that's, you know, a doable thing. And fair on that. It's one of those things I don't think I would do. Because it's another one of those, it's an interesting mold. And as I pull it out and away from you, because I can't do it in front of you because it's too tight, there we go. There you go. There, I'm just going to set him on top of that. Now, how well did I do not getting bubbles into that? It'd definitely be a more defined piece if you did it in a solid color. That's for sure. I kind of like the way I've done the base of this though. And if I put my other glasses on, I might be able to sort of discern her face and get that done up. I think I did okay with that. I do have some rogue pieces, that's totally cool. And if you were to do a coating of, I would do probably 2-part epoxy on this. That would really, you know, brighten up some of this stuff. But I think I did pretty good with not getting air bubbles in this one, which is kind of cool. And of course, you could paint. You could do some painting on this of some sort to more define the wings. I can't imagine trying to like get up into those wings. I can't imagine. But anyway, so when I poured the resin in, I started going like this, and I squeezed my resin around in all directions just to avoid getting air bubbles. So I think we did pretty good on that one. And I'm actually pleased with that. So I'll have to see if I can paint her up somehow so more defined. But that would be cute on something, or for someone who's, you know, lost a pet or a loved one. Well, yes, my dog's a loved one. Anyway, hope you like that. Okay, let's see what my Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor rectangle came out like, because this was what it was really all about, besides, you know, seeing what I'd gotten from Temu. So I'm going to have some cleaning up of the mold to do, as you can see. I probably will put a very thin coat in here, just to protect. I've got some air bubbles in here, which doesn't overly surprise me in some ways. Definitely going to have to clean that mold up, aren't we? And I'm wanting to look if I can see And it may not show up on the mold. As I say, on the mold, I do have issues with it. But I guess, oh, and I've got some pretty big air bubbles in there too. Yeah, okay, so let me show you where they are. So another good reason for me to put a coat on it. So there are some big air bubbles in here. So I'm going to put my other glasses on. Hopefully I got all the red dye off of them. Oh, that was a fiasco. Fiasco. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm going to definitely want to put a coat of clear UV resin on that, just because of some of the air bubbles I got in it. And I'm going to be being very careful too when I do it, and going over so that I make sure I get those filled in. And I would probably use a tool. I could use this. This would probably work, just to like pour a bit of resin down and then slide it across until it gets filled in. And one of my other ones would be, now I could use this. I don't know why they made these with a bit of a dip to them. I'm not really sure on that, but we could use that as well, just to like put a little bit of resin down and then very carefully keep going over it until we get that filled in. Okay, so I will do that. But overall, not bad for a grunge piece of art. Trying out some of those. And it was funny because when I was putting these squares down, I thought it looked, I'm thinking I don't like that look, but I don't mind it. And the black looks kind of cool in here. So if you haven't tried black, maybe it's something you think about doing. Now I'm also noticing I've got air bubbles along the side of this too. We'll consider that part of the grunge look. Will I mean, I could go over, I've got a big bump there, and put like a thin coat again of 2-part epoxy on that, or UV resin. I'm not sure, but it definitely has a grunge look to it, I think, and I like it. I do like it, and I like the shape of it. That I'm pleased. I'm glad I picked these up for, yeah. And I'm not sure if you were going to do any kind of Cricut writing on this. Yeah, I'm not sure what color I would put on that. White's jumping to mind, but white would, I don't know. I don't know. And it would be a matter, do you really want to cover it up? All right. There we have it. That is it for this video. There won't be much to do on that aside from putting on a thin coat of UV resin. Now before I do that, now the big thing was, how did we do with our coloring through, right? Because we put in the glue. So it is floating in there. It hasn't all sunk down, which is nice. Even have air bubbles on the back of here, but that's irrelevant to me. Yeah, harder to see on this side, I think, but at least it's not, we didn't lose it. We still have it floating in as best we can see it in there. So hopefully you're getting a good view of that. But it didn't all just settle and to this side of it. So that's nice. I'm appreciating that. And we did 2 drops. And it's showing throughout, so that's a good thing as well. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for any of the comments that you've been leaving for me. I appreciate them, and I get back to you. Fortunately, at this point, my comments aren't a lot, so I'm able to usually reply to everybody. If it warrants a reply, some are just statements that people are making. And, you know, I usually like or heart the comment to let people know I've recognized it. Sometimes, again, it doesn't, you know, they're statements and that's the end of it. If you ask a specific question about where I got something, I'm usually pretty good at getting back to you on that. And or just having a brief little conversation with people based on the questions I've been asking in my videos. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this piece, if it's something you've thought of doing yourself. Do you like the grunge look, or is this something that you would want more polished? And I'm curious too what you think of the angel and how you may have done her. Anyway, have a great day, whatever creativity and type things you're getting up to. Take care, and bye for now.